Welcome to Bella and I's studio. And another Posca Wednesday. So, welcome. Say hi to Bella. Hi, Betty. Hello. Thank you guys for being here. Welcome to Posca Wednesday, where Bella and I hang out, chill, and draw. And we talk about things that matter, right? Okay. Today, I'm thinking I want to get some background in here. Just some something to start tying things together. I do want to go back to that can, so we're gonna go ahead and get that in there. All right, and I'm drawing really light with this pencil, so you might not actually see the pencil markings on here, but I assure you they're there. I'm just going really light because when I come back over with a Posca marker, I don't want the pencil to bleed through. So, and what I've noticed with that is that yeah, it can be super light and hard to see. So, and that's okay, right? I mean, we're not drawing with a pencil, um, all together. We're coloring with Posca pens. We're just using pencil to get us to that point, right? So, how was your guys' week? You guys do anything? Anything spectacular? Anything momentous happen in your lives? Give a hint that that's the lid. I'll come in here and get some direction there with that can. So, I just like the can idea. I think that fits good with a mouse, right? I mean, going in there, getting something to eat. We got a frog out here chilling. Do some stuff there. So I just want to kind of tie in this lower section a little bit. So here's an interesting thing. Alexa, what does the animals seagull, frog, and mouse represent? What is the imagery of that? What does that represent?
Seagulls often symbolize freedom and adaptability, while frogs represent renewal and transformation. Mice typically signify resourcefulness and humility. These animals together might suggest a journey of personal growth through flexibility and resilience.
Something I didn't know. Anyways, I was just curious. I was like, what am I drawing? I mean, yeah. So I had to ask Alexa. Alexa's great for stuff like that. So, anyway, let's get back to it. So we're gonna do a can here. Yeah, I'm liking that. So maybe I want to draw something kind of goofy on here. Maybe an alien, huh? Or just something, it's gonna be on the can, so. Yeah. Might have something coming up right here, so this is gonna be a bit of a deal here, so we're going to want some kind of land mass here for the frog to be chilling on. It's kind of, I'm envisioning like a garbage heap, you know? I mean, with the exception of the frog, I think, you know, these other guys, they really like that kind of stuff. they like to reuse stuff. So, let's see here. How do you want to do this? I think that's all I'm going to really do with a pencil, to be honest with you. I just really wanted to lock something like that in because the ground and everything else I can do with Posca pen alone. From my imagination, I don't need to pre-sketch that. So, I want to make sure that's light enough. So I might not even have to use a kneaded eraser, but I would like to get that over here actually, because where is it? I'm always looking for this stuff. I left it in the front room again. I always do that when I go out to the front room and I draw out there because I have other drawing material out there. I usually take that kneaded eraser with me. Actually, it's right over there. I'll be right back. Okay. Because I think I need to lighten this up just a little bit here. All right, that's fine. She's sleeping. Look at her. I am not going to disturb her. She plays hard sometimes. Plays hard and chills hard. We're going to lock in this can just so I can get a visual. Let me go ahead and grab out some of my grass colors, earth colors, because I have a feeling there's going to be some flowers and all kinds of stuff going on in here. So I might need some different colors for that. Okay, this is how I'm seeing it. These marking pens right here, these are actually called Sharpie Creatives. So I haven't used these yet, but I want to. They're brush nibs, and they're tiny. They're like a pen, and you know, the nibs are just the right size. I mean, they look fun. I really want to try them. So, yeah, and my idea here is when we're done with this sketchbook, the Posca sketchbook, I'm going to go to another art supply or another medium that I have, like colored pencil or something to that effect. Now, colored pencil does take quite a bit longer to get a sketch out, but we could do, you know, we could do smaller segments of the same sketch. We don't have to finish a sketch at the same time. Just an idea of the direction I want to go with these Wednesday sketches. I was going to try to do this every day, but it's a lot of pressure and I got other things going on. So in other categories that I want to start mapping out and getting consistent with on my schedule. So I'm a schedule driven and pattern driven type person. So I like organization and chaos. So to me, that makes a lot of sense. But just ideas that form in my mind as as this journey progresses and we move forward into the unknown, into the what ifs and what's next scenarios. So first, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some outline going here. Let's get our paper over here. Somewhere there. Okay. Go back to our, oops, or back to our page where we're using last episode for priming the pins. So yeah, I think that's going to be the designated, because this is probably the cheaper paper that I got, and it's not so big. I actually got really huge pieces of paper that's probably about the same grade as this, that I'll use for something eventually. But yeah, all right, let's start right here. I'm just gonna skip this along. I ain't gonna be tracing it too much. I'm just going to get it defined. I like turning it so that my line work is cohesive with the angle I'm used to moving my wrist. If I was to try to draw everything right here, I mean, I'm not gonna get, for me, it's not as comfortable. Some people don't have a problem doing that at all. And if you don't, then, there you go. You have your answer. I want to leave the bottom open a little bit here because I'll probably want to put we can suggest there's something there, because I know the black will be easier to go over. So let's get our little alien in there. All right, it's a little Easter egg. I'm working on a series called Bella versus Aliens, and I'd like to get back into that, but there are some specific locations that I would like to draw some of that stuff in. I've been kicking around some ideas in my mind about how to move forward with that project, because it is a project that's dear to me, and I want to tell that story. But it has to happen in the right time. Everything always has its moment, right? And the more we're susceptible to understanding that and feeling that, I think that the more intuitive our art becomes, and just the more honest it feels. Because to me, art needs to be honest. Art needs to be I mean, it depends on how you're looking at honesty. So for me, honesty is waiting for the moment. That's what it means to me. Not begrudging yourself to do something that you don't feel inspired to do maybe at the moment. I'm the kind of person that moves when I feel like I need to be moving. When I'm when that moment comes, I know it. But man, I know it builds up to it, and I know all the precursors to the next action that I'm going to perform towards my project. And it has a lot to do with what's going on inside, the chemistry, the inward stuff. So, and yeah, I'm feeling motivated to get that project going and get it finished. So once I'm done with that project, then we're going to move on to another project. So I can keep my playlists in check. I go a lot off of what's in my playlist, and as I grow and as things happen, I adjust my playlist until I got a routine down, until I got a system going that feels comfortable and not over complicated, or it's not going to burn me out. I'm not going to get burned out so easy. That kind of thing. So now instead of drawing grass in with this black, I think my idea is to actually draw grass in with a darker color like this, and I can come back and accent this darker color with a black later if I need to. A lot of times what I do with colors, just about every time, I like to use 3 different colors for something so that I can go dark to light, or vice versa. I work both ways. A lot of times I do work light to dark though, because it's advantageous sometimes depending on what I'm doing. So, but I also like working dark to light too. So it just I guess there's really no preference. Sometimes I think it depends on the medium as I'm getting to know it. Certain things I do definitely I go dark to light. That's just the way it is. Sometimes I cheat and I go light to dark, or or whatever, whatever. It's all good. It doesn't really matter. Now we're just gonna make some intentional marks here. All right. Try to get it going. Just some texture marks. Get in there a little bit. Maybe he's looking out over something. I don't know. Pause right there and kind of let it dry up a little bit. Well, I mean, we can go right in there and see if we can get a little bit of blend. I just don't like to get I don't like to get my marker all gooped up with other stuff. So I'm just gonna go on one side of where I think the grass is. These little blades of grass that I made, just to give it that contrast. So there's different ways of shading stuff in. You can dot it all in. It gives it a sense of being shaded, kind of thing. And then what I mean by coming in with the black and sort of highlighting things, like maybe this might be a little darker here on the back side, so I'll just skip it along there. Not really tracing everything, but just putting a color in here and there. Doesn't have to be perfect. That's not what this is about. This is about making intentional lines, intentional marks, and and living with it, not overthinking it. It's an exercise. It's an exercise to be comfortable with yourself. You don't have to be super quick about anything. You can slow it up. You can go as fast as you want, as fast as you're comfortable going, that kind of thing. So let's see here. I'm going to come in with a little bit of this gray and start marking this stuff up on the inside. What I'll do is those are the ribs in there of that can, it looks like to me. So then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come right here and try to stay in the same direction here. It doesn't have to be perfect, because I'm going to come in with another color. This is all about solving problems, when you're drawing. That's what a lot of drawing is just solving problems as you go in. So That's how I see it. Problem solving, storytelling, problem solving, this kind of thing. So, and yeah, and all we're doing here is sketching. We're not creating masterpieces, or I'm not. You can. For me, that's for another time and another place and another medium, maybe. No, well, I don't know. I like this medium. I'm gonna be straight with you. I think it's fun. It reminds me of when I was young, when I was a child, coloring with color crayons. And in fact, since I got these, makes me want to go pick up a set of crayons because I don't have any. Maybe I want to do that. Maybe I want to do that. So I'll find something else that's close to that gray. I don't think we really got anything like that. Let's see what this looks like. Man, I don't like that. That's not gonna work. So is this white? I think this is white, isn't it? That's definitely white. We're not gonna use that either. So I'm just gotta figure out how to do this. I'm looking for a color that would go with that. That's a little bit lighter. You know. See what happens if we go over this gray with this white. Ooh, that might be the trick right there, right? Just kind of hit that gray with that white. Maybe. I think so. We're gonna do that. I don't want to completely color everything in with this white or with this gray. I just want to get the impressions in here with the gray and then end up with that white. Just something about it. I wish I had a lighter gray just a step down from this, but going over it with that white might just work. So again, you want to stay in the direction of the perspective here. And you don't want to go like that. It'll look a little weird. It won't look. There won't be a whole lot of continuity. It'll look weird. Okay, we're gonna call that, and then we're gonna see what happens with this white. So I think we're gonna have to push and pull a little bit here. Okay. And I don't know how far we'll get on this. We'll go for a little bit. We'll have a nice little chill session. I know the last episode was almost an hour long, and I don't know. You guys let me know. Is that okay? I mean, for me, I could sit here for hours and do this if that's what you guys want. I mean, for me, that's no problem. In fact, in the future, we might even do live events where, we just draw for long periods of time. Yeah, I think that's gonna work, man, right there. I think that'll be alright. I'm just gonna get this white in here. In a few spots. Just to break up that solid gray to give it a more blending look. I'm new to Posca pens, I'm telling you. But I think learning how to shade with just a regular pencil. So I spent a lot of time, like I had mentioned in the past, just using a regular pencil shading things in with a pencil, learning values that way. I think that what that's done for me is really instinctively give me that eye to look and see where the shadows and stuff are. I can see that. So, all right. Now we're gonna paint the label on the can, and we're gonna paint the label. What do most labels look like? What would pop with this? Would it be red? There's a lot of different colors. Let's start with this alien first. I don't want to paint the alien green though, or gray, because we got a lot of that going on right there. Um, Maybe it's not an alien. I don't know. Maybe it's something completely different. I don't know. I think blue and orange look really good together. I'm thinking the label is going to be orange. So let's paint the label first. Come over there on that. There's different ways of shading, and you can actually use some of the what I've noticed. Some of the techniques that I know that I could use with pencil, I can use with Posca pens. Like dot shading. So when I use dots, I group dots real close, and then I expand them out. And the further they get out, it's sort of a shading effect. And I use that for things like cotton balls or just little different scenarios. It works out pretty good. It's kind of cool. So, and there's lots of different ways to shade. That's just one of them. Using dots, something like this. Like how you got all these little dots like this, and then you start coming way out here like this. Until eventually the shade kind of looks like it's dissipating. So, whatever. You can do something like that. I'll move my hand here in a second so you guys can see it. Something like that, where it's kind of dark back here with multiple dots, and then it starts getting, lighter as you come out. We're not going to do that, though. This is a solid color. I was just taking the opportunity to show you guys a technique to shade. We'll get more into that, as the Wednesdays go by. I do believe we'll be in Posca Wednesdays for a minute. I mean, it's a lot of pages. There's probably 30 pages here. And I would imagine we'll probably do, I don't know, 5 or 6 different characters per page. So, like when you look at this page, hold on, let me pull it up so you guys can see this. And I showed this last time. I'm happy with it. It makes me feel good when I look at it. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't want to lay it flat because I know that's still drying. But I got a few characters, 4 characters, trees, some flowers, a little bit of stuff. I like that page. It seems, it's okay. I could fill it up more, but I don't want to. I think that's fine. I think I used quite a bit of that whole page. So, and this is actually inspiration for Bella versus Aliens, and I write in here when I drew these and which one, Posca sketch 11, 24, 25, first sketch with Posca acrylic markers, tree and some flowers. I was trying to get some shades, some dark shades into the lighter stuff, just to see how it works. To see how it works out. So, it's a lot of fun. I think once this whole book's filled, I'm going to love going through it and just checking it out every once in a while. That's what I like to do. And I'll probably make prints of it, to give out to friends. I don't know. Do something with it, to share it. Maybe tell a story with it. I don't know. The possibilities, are there. It's just the imagination that needs to click in and do its thing. So from here, I wanted to do, okay, we got that. I was going to go blue, because blue and orange really look good together. There we go here. Oh, this is, this reminds me of really, I don't know. Just reminds me of when I was a kid. That's what it does. And sometimes that's priceless. Just taking a break and then doing something that, you relate to. And I relate to a lot of things, but, relate to differently. Uh, Something that has a and I wouldn't say low entry, because you could do some really cool stuff with these pins, man. Uh, I mean, I think so. I think beauty is also in the eye of the beholder, but yeah, that's what it is. All right, I got a little something there. What am I going to color that? We're going to color that red. You're not supposed to shake these with the lid off, so shake them with the lid on, and then come over here and then open it up. Do your thing. And come really carefully right next to Fred. I think that's what we called him. Didn't we call him Fred? I think that's what I called him. All right, well, there's a tin can. And you know what I'm seeing now? Is I'm seeing this tin can come out over here a little bit. Kind of maybe up and over. Like that. Just the back side of it. Just a little bit of that, right? Come right here. And we're gonna... This is gonna be the end of the label there. So we'll tie that in right now. Right here. I want to make some of that black disappear. Oh, maybe we should have waited. That's how you blend them, right? You go in wet and wet. You definitely can do that. That's kind of dope. So, they can. Oh. She's waking up. Hi, baby. How are you? I'm going to clean her eyes. There you go, sweetie. All right. Where's that gray at? So many Posca pins, man. Okay. Well, you got the bottom of the can going on there. I'm blowing on it, trying to get it to dry a little faster. There we go. Perfect highlight. I don't like that. Yeah, just sometimes marks that you would never think would be, legit is actually what needs to happen there. So, anyway. I think we're getting there. Let's keep going a little bit longer here. I want to, let's see. I'm gonna get some more grass in here. Let's go right here with it. I want the grass to come up right here. Right behind that can, maybe, you know what I mean? I'm okay with that. Kind of go a couple different directions. Remember, we still got another color to come in here and make that pop with. So we're going to come in and go against it with a little bit of a lighter deal there. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I'm going to hold off on that. We're going to come in with this. Actually, we're going to hold off on that too. I'm going to come in here with this, with gray. And start tying this in. Now I'm not gonna draw too much down there because, you know, I might want to draw another critter down there. So be careful of that. But I want to put in the hint that there's, you know, this is gonna be some kind of a rock formation. This is where I'm turning my nib. I'm just feeling like this is the way to solve the problem. Turning my nib on its side because I want this to look a little bit like an outcropping, maybe some rock. What's going on here, you know? So I need some different types of texture right here. Texture marks. Be careful, I don't want to draw on the next page already. Okay, now we can go in since this grass is dried up a little bit. I'm going to start right here by the face. And make some marks here that are intentional. I want to draw this, but I'd have to put my hand right there. And I don't want to do that. So, before I do that, I'm going to solve another problem. We're going to come down to here and work this a little bit. Now what I'm doing here is I'm being really sort of erratic, but I'm staying right up against that gray. I don't want to, I'm not coloring anything in with this black. This is only a value marker. It's not for me, and right now in this moment, it's not to color everything. Color everything in. It's just to create a little bit of organized chaos and make it look like maybe there's something going on there. You know, some texture wise. So, what are you guys drawing today? Leave it down in the comments. I want to know. I want to know what you guys are up to, and you know how your week's been, and if anything's happened significant that maybe made your day, or you know. Okay. Hold off on that. We'll go back with this green. Where'd you go? Oh, I hit it for myself. Okay. You can see how, you know, it gives it dimension when you use, you know, a dark, you know, for per se a dark green and then go over it with a light green. It starts giving it dimension. It starts looking like something. Maybe there's some flowers in here. So on these flowers, we're just gonna make little petals. Just little things. They don't have to be exact. They don't have to be, you know, little things. Okay? Don't have to be at the end of every blade of grass either, or whatever that is, whatever it looks like to you. To me, it looks like grass, but you know, there might be some flowers in there. So I'm gonna put some in there, and I'm gonna be erratic with it. I'm not gonna overdo it. I want to stay away from that blue over there because, you know, that's our label. Okay, I'm okay with that. It's enough. Yeah, I think that's a good start. I think that really gives us a good composition here of what's going on. So maybe I'll come in here and start putting some white in here, just kind of break up the noise here. And not a lot, just a little bit. So there might be some other colors I need to hit that with. Something like that. Okay. We're going to stop the video there, and we'll revisit this next week. I feel like there's going to be something here. I'm not sure. We might make some heaps of garbage. Maybe in the back. Maybe this is a dump. I don't know. But the beauty of it is the critters call it home, you know, to me. It's a place of abundance for these critters. It's something that's been thrown away, that's being repurposed by life itself. It always finds a way. That's what's amazing to me about life. Pressure makes diamonds. From Bella and I, peace. Have a good day.